What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Pivotal Moments. Ravens pick up their fourth straight win, this time over the Washington Commanders. If you watch or listen to the podcast and you pretty much saw this coming, Ravens offense matches up very well with a lot of defenses, especially those that run light box a majority of the time, which is what the Commanders did. So a lot of things that I saw from the Ravens, I'm not surprised by. Defense, however, is a different story. We talked about it throughout the season, and I thought it would be a good time to start the episode with a defense that I saw from the Ravens that led me thinking, yeah, this is easily fixed, but is it going to get fixed? We don't know. Let's start looking at it. Ravens play man coverage on the receivers. Brandon Stephens on Scary Terry. Darius Washington on the slot. And we have, looks like Nate Wiggins on the top of the screen with the receiver. This matchup is probably where you'd expect Jaden Daniels to look to throw the football. And we'll see how this plays out. Terry moves in motion. Right here we have a pick. The illegal play that never gets called. Ravens can't afford to have a play call like this because teams usually run zone in the red zone against the Ravens because of the fear of Lamar Jackson just running it in. So Ravens probably won't be able to use this pick. But same thing we saw last week with the Bengals. Took advantage of it for a score of their own. The Commanders do a good job here of picking Brandon Stephens. Now you have a situation where there's a lot of separation, especially by NFL standards, between the corner and the receiver. Play continues. Brandon Stephens fights from that. Another pick by your own player. If you're Brandon Stephens, you have to know the assignment of your safety in this situation. Kyle Hamilton's responsible for protecting any run by Jaden Daniels, as well as this zone here where a lot of receivers love to eke their way in, either over top or on the inside of the defense. So Brandon Stephens is effectively nullified from this play by both the slot receiver and his own guy. Nobody to cover him. Touchdown. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Ravens do not have an answer for this, for whatever reason. Cannot explain it. Let's look at it from this angle, because this angle shows what could have been and why Jaden Daniels might be a little special, even as a rookie quarterback. So we talked about it. We don't see Scary Terry or the outside receiver here, but we do see the man-to-man coverage here on the slot. Let's see where Jaden Daniels' head is at. Ball's hiked, play action. Jaden Daniels automatically looking at the outside receiver. As you mentioned, outside coverage one-on-one, favorable matchup for any quarterback. That's where he's going to turn to. At this point, we've already seen the pick here by Kyle Hamilton. Second pick of the day by Brandon Stephens. And we have Scary Terry wide open here. Look at Marcus Williams. He's looking at the eyes of Jaden Daniels. So he sees that he's looking on the outside. That's where his stance is at. Perfect. For whatever reason, Marcus Williams doesn't realize that Terry is coming his way. If it's man coverage, you have to know that there's a chance that a guy's coming your way. Obviously, he probably doesn't know that his man just got picked twice, but he has to know that there's a possibility that a receiver's going over top to his zone. And he's not prepared for it. He's caught out of position. Now, we talked about it during the game on social media that JD kind of fooled Marcus Williams. That's not the case. That's not what happened here. Jaden Daniels is fully about to throw that ball on the outside. Boom. Pump fake. He saw this guy automatically open. Maybe he knew he was going to be open the entire time, but throughout the entire clip, we didn't see Jaden Daniels look that side not one time. Ball was hiked. He was automatically looking at the right side, which leads me to believe he was as surprised as we were that Terry was this wide open. By that time, Marcus Williams was already committed to the right side. Terry has the outside leverage up top. Marcus Williams doesn't have enough time to react. Touchdown. So it's a fault on both fronts. We have a guy in Brandon Stephens who failed to adapt to the pick the first time and ran into his own safety the second time, and we have a safety in Marcus Williams who doesn't understand the play, doesn't read the situation to know that there's a guy coming across his field. Again, does he know that his guy is going to be picked twice and leaving the star receiver wide open? No. But he needs to have the wherewithal to realize that there's not just one receiver on the field. He can't just get fooled enough to stare at one receiver and not expect that there's a possibility for a guy to go around. As you saw in the first angle of the clip, Marcus Williams, that's his zone. That's his responsibility. So it's a fault on two fronts. Brandon Stevens getting picked twice and Marcus Williams failing to adapt to the situation. Something we didn't see a lot of. We did not see a lot of in the early goings of 2023. In fact, all of 2023. He was just caught out of position. He had no idea he was coming. Bad play. Okay, next clip. This isn't really anything fancy. I just wanted to show you how phenomenal of a quarterback Lamar is, how dangerous of a tight end Mark Andrews is, and why you guys need to be careful by the assumption that Lamar Jackson isn't a great passer of the football. Shotgun formation, two receivers up top, one at the bottom, and your boy Mark Andrews, the obvious hero of the situation. But, you know, he's been receiving a lot of flack as a receiver so far in 2024, but he's still dangerous. And this is just a typical concept. Nothing crazy. But I want you to watch. This is a too high zone. That's all you really need to know. This is zone coverage. These three are playing zone. Safety's playing zone. That's all it is. This safety is responsible for this side of the field. This safety responsible for the other side. And what does that leave you? A potential target area for your quarterback and wide receiver, in this case being the tight end. Take a look. Ball's hiked. Andrew's just going to go over here. And we mentioned that the window. It's a small window. Let's say Lamar throws this into the teeth of the defense. Straight bullet. Yeah, it's going to look pretty. But there's a chance that these linebackers can cut it off. I know this is basic stuff, but some people may look at this and think, oh, Lamar overthrew Mark Andrews, get to make a great catch. That's not the case. Lamar throws the ball in the red zone only where the receiver can get it. Sometimes it means throwing it too high. Sometimes it means throwing it a little low. So it doesn't look as good, but it prevents turnovers. That's why Lamar Jackson hasn't really been known to throw the football to the other team. He did throw it once to the other team, but that was a drop pass by Mark Andrews that led to interception, and this is where Mark Andrews redeems himself. But you see the high pass away from the safety, away from the linebackers, only where Andrews can get it. Let's look at another case. I want you to pay attention. What did you notice there? This is a little bit of education, a little school, classes in session. We talked about it in the first few weeks of the season. Daniel Falele having problems with the stunt, having problems adjusting to what the defense is doing, not just dealing with one guy, having to deal with the potential of another lineman or linebacker coming in across him and not having the speed or wherewithal to block it. That's not what happens here, ladies and gentlemen. That's not what happens here. 94, these two engage. What does number 8 do? He lets go. Pivots. Week 1, week 2, Daniel Falele. Lamar Jackson gets smacked. Not the case. I know this is basic offensive lineman responsibility stunts, but Daniel Falele was not getting the job done early in the season, and we were calling for his head. John Harbaugh has the "I told you so" grin when looking at film because this is not the case anymore. It's not happening. Falele beautifully blocked. Rosengarten gets beat a little bit, but that's not enough time. Not enough time for Lamar Jackson to just follow through, catch, end zone. Now, let's look at that again because Rosengarten did get beat, and I want to see why he got beat. 94, he just ekes through. So that's number 70 has to do a better job of reacting to that. He's a rookie. He'll get that. But Daniel Faletti does his job there, something that we didn't see in week 1 and week 2. So big shout outs to him. He gets that touchdown grab, Mark Andrews, and vindication for number 89 as he starts to show that he's still that guy for the Ravens offense. All right, guys, next clip of this offense. And Derrick Henry has been a focal point of the story, and he deserves some of that now, but I really need to let you guys know how effective Derrick Henry has been to the play of this offense on the passing side of things. Now, the play action has been something that we've clamored for in previous years, but I think a little bit of why the Ravens weren't as successful with those in the past is because they didn't really have a dominant running back to worry about. I'm sure defenses were like, okay, we really don't want the running game to get going, but we really don't want to get Lamar Jackson going. Now this year is we cannot allow Derrick Henry to get things going by any means necessary. And that's causing great matchup opportunities for the Ravens receivers. Let's take a look at this play. We have Derrick Henry in the backfield, Lamar Jackson under center, something that we didn't see a lot of in previous years, but now with Derrick Henry being very effective when his quarterback is under center, the Ravens have implemented that, and that has caused opportunities for play action to flourish in this offense. Right now we have a single high look. It doesn't remain that way, but this is really just giving the defense time to adjust to a run play in case something were to happen in which Derrick Henry breaks free. So let's start the play. Ball's hiked. Look at his eyes. Look at the safety's eyes. Looking in. Look at this. Look at the linebackers. How their stance is. Boom. Play action. And it's over. Look at all this space for this receiver. Look at all this space. What do you expect to happen here? Lamar Jackson just throws it, catch, big play. But that's all works out of the play action. All of it. Right here, we'll take a look at how Lamar Jackson steps up into the pocket. I just like that play. Look at Lamar. Steps up, throws, evades the pass rush. One of the better runs by Rashad Bateman today. So it's definitely something that we need to take into consideration when we talk about what impact Derrick Henry has on the field. It's not just the rushing. We see the gaudy numbers, we see the gaudy statistics when it comes to Derrick Henry on the ground, but man, he is really forcing these defenses to play the run and pray to God Lamar doesn't keep that ball for himself because it totally dismantles what they're trying to do on defense. All right, guys, next clip. This time, I want to show you some more about what the play action is doing for the Ravens. Now we have a single high look that's truly single high. At this point of the game, the Commanders are sick and tired of Derrick Henry getting whatever he wants. They want to make sure that they do what they can to stop the run by all means necessary. The Ravens motion Nelson Aguilar. So prior to the snap, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guys in the box. I mean, all designed to stop Derrick Henry. And with a single high safety, we got one-on-one coverage on the outside, and that's the play. The Commanders have no choice here. You have to stop the run. Ball's hiked. Look at this massive humanity trying to stop Derrick Henry. Look at that massive humanity. And what does that leave your receivers? Space. Space. Look at how much space the Commanders have to give these receivers. So now it becomes a question of, can you stop the pass rush? But the Ravens do, obviously. And it's all she wrote. Dump off to Zay Flowers, and he does what he does best. But it's all about stopping Derrick Henry. Zay Flowers is a great, phenomenal receiver, yes. Mark Andrews, great tight end, yes. Rashad Bateman seems to be his breakout season, yes. Lamar Jackson, fantastic quarterback, MVP, yes. But if you can't stop Derrick Henry, you can't beat the Ravens. And they're not stopping Derrick Henry, and they're using that to their advantage on passing downs. Just outstanding. Outstanding play design. We talked about it on the podcast. The Commanders run the third highest rate of light box in the National Football League as of now. They had to go away from their comfort zone, keep more guys in the box, and the Ravens let them pay, hammer them. All right, final clip of the episode. I wanted to show you why these defenses are terrified of Derrick Henry. I mean, this, again, single back formation, this is just heavy set. I mean, you got one receiver on the outside, really, fullback, and the king. I mean, if you're a defense, you're terrified of this. We talked about it in the last clip. Look at all this. Look at this. Look at this massive humanity designed to stop Derrick Henry. Now, I will say the one thing that the Commanders did in this game that may have been a downfall is they were not trying to have Derrick Henry run between the tackles. None of this. And they did a decent job. I mean, Derrick Henry had 4 yards here, 3 yards there between the tackles. So what the Ravens did, they played it smart. You want to stop between the tackles? We'll toss it on the outside. I mean, this just, how do you stop that? How do you stop that? Again, massive humanity here. The Bengals did a better job of this last week, actually. They had the linebackers. This guy's probably shaded a little more over here. This guy over there. They spread the defensive line a little bit to prevent the outside runs. Obviously, it didn't matter, but the Commanders were begging the Ravens to toss the ball, do outside stuff, to really stretch this defense. And you're not stopping this run if you don't have familiarity with being a run-stopping team. They weren't a great run defense to begin with, but the Ravens made sure that they imposed their will. Look at this. It was no surprise where the run was going. The defense wasn't fooled. But look at where the defense is. Look at the communication between these two. They know what's coming. Ball's hiked. Look everyone's direction besides this guy. I don't know what he's doing. But these guys are already moving to the left. So it's us against them in the Ravens' mind. And look at the men on the floor. This guy's diving for God knows where. People are just, look at the amount of purple compared to the amount of red on here. No problem. No problem for the Ravens. You don't know how to stop this. We're built different. And then it's Derrick Henry, the king himself, going up against DBs who do not want to tackle him late in the game. So, I don't know. I don't know how, if you're a defensive coordinator, you stop this and you have a Pro Bowl MVP quarterback doing this thing on passing downs. It's tough to stop it. The only grace that these teams have is that the defense of the Ravens isn't playing particularly well on stopping the pass. So if the game plan going in isn't to throw the ball early and often, I don't know what you're doing if you're the opposing team. That is how you're stopping. That's how you're giving yourself a chance against the Ravens right now, is throwing the ball, hoping the defense continues to struggle, but you're not stopping this. You're not stopping this, especially if you're not built to stop it. This is the pass-first league. Nobody wants to stop the run. Everyone wants to stop Patrick Mahomes, C.J. Stroud from dicing them up in the passing game. These linebackers are not drafted to stop the run. These defensive linemen are pass rushers. They're not designed to stop the run. And that's why they're on the floor right now. The Ravens bullied the Commanders. I know the score can dictate otherwise. I know it's a 7-point game, but this game was over in the second quarter. The Commanders did not want to be there. The Ravens bullied them. And that's all she wrote. That's going to do it for us at Pivotal Moments. Thank you so much for joining us. Hope you're enjoying yourselves. If you guys have any comments, feel free to leave it in the comment section. We are exclusively on YouTube. And I'll see you next week.